Hello, and welcome to Universal Harmony Illustrated. I have some good unconventional spiritual thoughts to share with you. And I'd like to pave the way for you to receive these thoughts by first helping to guide you into a receptive, relaxed state of mind, into an inner mental place of peace, where logical barriers to new ideas come down, where intuition flows. I wanted to do this with some background music. Perhaps I'll add it later, but here it is for now. So first, find a comfortable place to sit quietly. And what we're going to focus on is how it feels to be here. Not in any physical place, but in the mental place of here. Where you are physically doesn't ever really matter at all. You're always in a placeless, timeless, mental here and nowness. That's where you are right now. And to feel this here and now, we clear the mind of thoughts of place and time. Close your eyes and feel here through every part of your being. And as you relax, you naturally start to breathe more deeply from deep down. As you focus on the thought of being mentally here. Here in the timelessness of now. Be aware of now and here only. Turn away from whatever's going on in your conscious, logical mind. It's always active, always moving around. And your logical mind runs thoughts past you constantly. But you're not going to follow those thoughts right now. While you feel how it feels to be here and here only, not in a physical place. Now and now only, not in a moment of time. Pay no attention to all those thoughts about the past, plans for the future, worries and concerns. where you've been, where you're going. Those thoughts keep coming and going, and you allow them to come and you allow them to go. Just watch from a distance. And while you sit back and observe thoughts coming and going, just observe, not following. You start to feel human tension melting away. And that's because following all those thoughts is the very source of tension. And when you find yourself starting to breathe deeply in this state of observation and awareness, every time you exhale, you'll feel tension break up, release, dissolve with every breath. You'll find a deep calm growing in your awareness. A quiet stillness. Your conscious understanding might still feel impatient. Maybe it still really wants to lead you off to somewhere else, following one of those random thoughts. It doesn't have your permission because you're in control and you're going to stay here. And when you're completely free from following these temptations of your logical thought, you'll feel a desire to stay here, mentally and physically. No movement on your part. Everything's quiet and peaceful. And you're wide awake and totally consciously aware. How does that awareness feel? Awareness sees everything that moves, but it doesn't follow. It only observes. And you, in your highest sense, are your awareness. You are mentally here now. And this is always true at every moment. All that you can be aware of is always here and now. Even when you're caught up in the human sensations of time and place. Now, before we move into some new ideas, let's take a minute more to sink deeper into this feeling of what it's like to be spiritually here now. It's a calm awareness. Feel how it feels to be led by intuition coming to you, not to be led by conscious, intentional thoughts pulling you away. Your highest selfhood is in control right now. And now, think about these ideas. Harmony is. Love is. Let's give absolute reality a name. We're going to name it ISness. ISness is that which exists eternally and necessarily harmoniously, which is independent of any intentional human conscious awareness of its presence. It just unconditionally is. Whether you're aware of isness or not, it is. Isness, absolute reality, is harmony, and it must be harmony. That which is necessarily harmonious. Let's think about why absolutely real being is necessarily harmonious. Introducing discord to a harmonious condition or situation in human life causes degradation and ultimately causes, to our human perception at least, the disappearance of the harmonious situation. Something we once thought of as is. And if that which is now, and now is all there is, it's a self-evident impossibility that a thing which exists in the eternal now could suddenly become is not and cease to exist. Did the harmony vanish? Or did the conscious human perception of the situation falsely perceive the disappearance of harmony? If that which exists stops existing, then it necessarily is not. Yet harmony is eternally, and cannot be stopped, because it is ISness. That which exists eternally and necessarily harmoniously. That which exists independent of intentional human conscious awareness of its presence. So, in a state of timeless now, what does discord mean? Discord itself must be nothing. Pure deception. A lie of which the human mind is totally convinced. Discord naturally degrades and disappears. It destroys its own self, which never really existed in the first place. And discord's opposite, harmony, its positive and valid counterpart, remains intact and apparent, always in now. Why does discord self-destruct? Because it has or had only an imagined reality. Even though discord seems to be present in personal reality, it always comes and goes. And when it comes, We can choose to follow it or not follow it. And always, eventually, discord will be no more. And we would know then that it never was, is. Discord is nothing but a counterfeit of harmony. The negated inversion of harmony. Pretending to be and masquerading as ISness. Discord is one of those thoughts that we observe coming and going as we watch from a distance, that we don't need to follow. We can just let it go. And we can choose instead to follow only the thoughts that we know lead to harmony, to ISness. And each time we carry out that choice, that brings our sense of here one step higher in the scale of being. That which is all that's valid in the highest absolute sense of consciousness, and must neither begin nor end, because is now and always, and is harmonious. Nothing in is can begin to end, and nothing in ISness really begins. Beginning, likewise birth, both are the manifest human conception of an idea never before consciously conceived, but which always has been, is. The idea of always possible harmonious manifestation is itself eternal. Therefore, all that's discordant must be, in the highest absolute sense of being, nothing but pure mental deception, aggressively claiming the lie of its own existence. And the recognition of this glorious fact is the key to practicing control over discord. Any beginning to discord and any end to discord requires thinking within a framework of a sense of time. In the absence of time, nothing begins, nothing is, Nothing ends. It just is. Become conscious of being here and now, and of only here and now, and there is no sense of time. In this highest interpretation of being, you didn't become sick overnight. You didn't just have an accident. You can't lose your job. You can't lose your proper sense of whatever it is that you know you should be doing. And neither are you subject to these occurrences in the future. Because in this highest sense of interpretation of being, there is no future. In the here and now of ISness, harmony unfolds continuously and eternally. And the beautiful fact that this is your present reality. This highest sense of consciousness is all pervasive. It underlies. It overlies. It encompasses all valid conscious being. And in it, the allness of existence is necessarily harmonious. No time, no space. Even the rules of physics reveal that time and space are interchangeable. Both are human concepts outside of being here and now. All it is harmoniously here, now, immediately, always. As we realize a sense of consciousness that's closer to the absolute, in proportion as we deeply realize that the movement through space from one place to another and the passage of the time that seems necessary to do that moving are actually only mental fabrications rooted in a pattern of educated logic that the human mind inserts into consciousness. In proportion as we realize this, do we gain control over our life, over our conditions, over our body. Absolute harmonious reality is already present and is only hidden beneath a complex but meaningless pattern of educated human belief and conviction. Become conscious for a single moment of this truth in human situations, physical conditions, states of health, will be witnessed in their unchangeable state of perfect, harmonious, absolute ISness. And it takes only one moment of realization. The result? You'll no longer witness those discords as your manifest reality. This is true healing. You'll find yourself well, free, having enough, loved, in the right place, at the right time. Whatever it is that seemed to be lacking or wrong will vanish through one moment of absolute consciousness. This isn't a state of consciousness that we have to reach and attain or climb to. Such a moment of realization reveals that it's a state of consciousness which we have to uncover. We're already here in the absolute and eternal now. So now remember that you're already here. And remember that this quiet place for receiving intuition is always here. And that we can come back to it any time, because it is the very foundation of our conscious being. For now, we can seemingly quietly return to our human realm. Wiggle our fingers, touch our face, open our eyes. And now we can think back on everything we just said and know that we can always listen for and hear spiritual truth. Here and now. Because that is the foundation of and permeates our being.